Hello everyone, welcome to a car that is now fully back together and works. It runs, it starts first time, it now moves forwards, backwards, and I drove it up the road and around the block a little bit. I have to do a bit more tweaking on the ECU tune now because the engine has been rebuilt, and all I've changed is I've put a slightly ported cylinder head on, tiniest cleaning on that. GSC billet S2 cams, so 274 duration, standard size stainless valves, but they've been recut, so obviously the flow would be slightly different. And slightly higher compression, it's now a 901. So a tiny bump in the compression section, but nonetheless it will still have a bit of a tweak in the fueling and flow air, because it's just obviously it's fresh as well, and I've got a new map sensor, which apparently when you go to the 5 bar it's not as good of a scaling as a 4 bar. But I wasn't gonna run an Omni anymore because my Omni was brand spanking new almost, pretty much less than a year old when I originally had the engine upgraded. So I've gone with a 5 bar stainless racing map sensor at the back there. Other than that, everything else, obviously apart from the now fully forged engine, everything else has gone back to how it originally was. All of the cooling side is the same. Obviously I've got a new oil cooler because the other one had bearing material, so that's gone. Timing side, everything's the same. It's got a new tensioner arm, it's got a new timing belt, it's got a frontline fabrication billet oil pump as well. Don't know if I get to see it through here, no, but you can see a little bit of bling bling right there, and that is the other than that, it's now running fine. When I was driving it forward and I went around the block and I came back, it was fine, but it wanted to low, idle and stall, so that's why I had to reset the idle, because I think because of the cams it's not quite able to keep up with the revs, especially with it being an automatic. It will constantly put a drain on it anyway. So I used to have idle set around 800 RPM, and I've just bumped up to 850. I know it's not the most ideal situation to do it, but being auto and being with the bigger cams, I needed to make sure that the idle stayed up a bit more for that. So yeah, I'm now happy with that. I would like to try and drive it a bit and see how it will go with that, so then I can start tweaking the tune a little bit. So as you can see, I was just setting idle, trying to get my ISC in position while it was in the diagnostic grounding mode, and nothing else has changed in here. It's exactly the same as it was before. Nothing new has been added, nothing has been taken away. The only thing I will want to do is I want to relocate the battery, mostly because if I have people sitting in the passenger seat, like my wife sometimes does, the battery is right here, and obviously the feet either sit up against it, so your knees are all crooked, or she has to sit to one side. So ideally I need to relocate the battery behind the seat, so I've got plenty of room for it to do that. So that's one thing I'll do. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to get one of them anti-gravity restart batteries, and I may even bump the size up to the next one. This is based around a PC680, which I'd left it for too long without a charge, so I killed that one. This is just a cheap old replacement which is similar. But I will replace it probably with a slightly next size up with the restart, so that's going to be the lithium also, so I'll have to change my charger from an AGM charger. Other than that, that is all. So happy it is now running and fully working, and it does move. I've got all gears on the paddle shifter and reverse, so that's a good sign. Underneath, everything's still the same. Actually, the only thing I have changed is because it's been a while, don't know if it will brighten up, I put my compression arms on there. So these are the spherical compression arms now. So these are my design with anti-droop bushes as well, so obviously the arm doesn't move and fluctuate. So the whole arm is now completely refreshed, new ball joint as well. So this will make it better for the steering, because this was the last bush that was basically not done. This is one that needed to get done. So yeah, I'm working on an adjustable arm, but that will be a while yet. I have most of it sorted out. I just need to sort out another little design clash with the lower shock bolt. Other than that, it's all done. So yeah, that is it underneath change wise. Everything else stays the same. I had to do new fuel lines because they'd sat for a while, and they decided to spring a leak. So yeah, new fuel lines there, all pretty much all the way through, because I wanted to change now, because I had to change the fuel filter, the RCI, or what they called South Bay fuel injectors or something. That fuel filter decided to basically separate from the metal caps, which wasn't good, so it wasn't doing any filtering. So I changed to a Radium Engineering one, plus it was slightly bigger, so that's good. So I upped it to 8 AN from 6 AN. The block is obviously painted. When I cleaned out the oil pan, because this is a custom baffled oil pan, I put a window in the front this time so I could clean it all out properly, and then I put a cap over that with seals, so that's got nice sealing capability, plus it's good now for cleaning. One thing that I didn't realise is, maybe it's just a manual, no, it can't be a manual thing, maybe it's just an all-wheel drive thing, but the cover, inspection cover, I've got a Kigley Racing 7-bolt flex plate. Now when they talk about it online, they say, oh, because of the new bolts and the thickness, you can't run a cover. But I've managed to, and although I'm front wheel drive, so again it might be an all wheel drive thing, I really don't know, but it could even be a 6-bolt thing, because obviously I'm 7-bolt, but mine's fine without any fouling, so not sure on that one, but it was interesting and glad that I actually did that. I did actually design a inspection cover anyway, which would basically not have any dimples in the top section where it recesses around the pan for the bolt, so that would have just been cut out a little bit and it would have been straight, so them bolts up here wouldn't have been usable. Sorry, not that bolt, would have been I think one of the back bolts might not have been usable. I can't remember, it's been a while since I looked at design. I think it was end of last year. But yeah, oh yeah, there's the pump. and then the oil filter, and then the oil filter is tucked up. Right underneath, so there's some of the lines, and you've got it right at the top, so it's still accessible, and then you can still undo the filter, and then the oil's not going to drain out everywhere else. I needed it real close to the pump. So yeah, that is the update. Yeah, I'll probably go through all the actual build products, like the parts internally, and for the cylinder head as well, later on, and just run through each individual part. I think that's about it for now. So yeah, thank you for watching.